Good morning.
Good morning.
Today we're in Skagway, and it's our excursion is like 6:30 in the morning, and so we decided to get some in-room breakfast so we could get ready while we're eating. And it looks pretty good.
Yeah, we have about 15 more minutes. So like.
Go, 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 go. By the way, this is our view this morning. Here, docked at the ship. These mountains are huge. You can't even see the tops of them because of the clouds.
The further north you go, the bigger the mountains that reach into the sky. Overnight, we've made our way from Juneau to the northernmost place on our journey, Skagway. Today we booked a double excursion, a trip on the White Pass Railway, and a wilderness hike up to the Laughton Glacier. When you sign up for a shore excursion through the cruise line, you'll be given a ticket. That ticket has a lot of information, including where your tour is meeting, the meeting time, the date, and important information about your chosen excursion, such as passport requirements and physical constraints. Today, we're meeting in the Bliss Theater, as indicated on our ticket. Generally, you'll meet somewhere on the ship and disembark as a group. They will call your excursion, and you'll head out.
6411 Rochelle Wildlife Refuge. You also have to go all the way at the end of the pier, right after the tunnel.
Of course, if you're not doing a shore excursion through the cruise line, you're free to disembark as you please.
So a little rainy today, but not too bad. We're walking down to the end of the pier now, right, to find our tour group.
Yeah, and look.
Yeah, I got like billboards or something on the rocks. There's even more. There's tons of them that have got like that.
Looks Himalayan.
That's what I was thinking. It reminds
That
me
was
of
my
Animal
first
Kingdom.
thought. Well, yeah.
Not that we've actually been there, but that's what Joe
they
Rohde
have,
says it
and
looks
they-
like.
And I'm pretty sure he's been.
Pretty sure he's been. Look at these views, just walking around, like heading up over to our tour. That giant mountain in the background. Unreal.
From our cruise ship terminal, we board a bus and are taken to the White Pass Railroad for the first part of our journey deep into Alaska's wilderness. One of the most difficult aspects of traveling on an Alaskan cruise is deciding what to pack, since weather can run the gamut from warm and sunny to freezing snow and rain. This hike was particularly hard to pack for, but luckily, Packer Expeditions, the operator of our tour, provided us with everything we needed: waterproof clothing, hiking gear, and even food. So we were free to set out on our voyage in search of nothing but excitement and discovery.
So we're hiking for 7 hours after this train ride, and they're giving us like waterproof shoes and pants and
A bag full of snacks.
yeah, sandwiches. They're like, we're gonna be out there for 7 hours. You're gonna get hungry, so make yourself a sandwich. So
So we're like, okay.
we got snacks.
I'm starting to regret the
Call it their
PB&J.
hand crits.
Oh, is that in your own or? Where do you work?
Ben works for Cook Park. But the like these bags have got like waters and all kinds of stuff, and
Oh, I got a
Pretty
Twix in
intense.
mine. They were.
shh, I haven't looked at mine yet. I don't know what I got.
She said
But
if you got snacks.
we're
in
pretty
there,
legit.
sure legit.
All right, so we are on the train. We're out on the back of the
Outside.
train. They said you can come out and look
Robbing
outside.
this train.
That's our train there. And then look at this. Look at these views. Well, of course, now as soon as they say that there's a bunch of trees in the way, we'll see more views. Just wait.
While today the White Pass and Yukon route operates merely as a tourist attraction, the story of this railroad is the story of gold. In July 1897, miners arrived in Seattle with tons of it. The news electrified the nation, and within weeks, tens of thousands of men and women steamed north towards Skagway. There, they would begin their harrowing 600-mile journey to the Klondike goldfields. Construction of this 110-mile narrow-gauge railroad began in 1898 to make the journey through White Pass easier. Nowadays, it's more of a leisure experience than a practical one, and we were simply enjoying the spectacular views. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, in the middle of this vast expanse of wilderness and mountains, our merry little cohort of hikers were told to get off the train.
Everybody's waving at the train as they're going by. Bye.
It's funny that they're taking pictures of us like we're a sight to see. Like, but we are. We're all in like now hiking gear. We're like ready to legitimately kind of backpack.
To say we were a bit trepidatious about what we had gotten ourselves into would be an understatement. But once we were geared up and on the trail, the fresh forest air deep in our lungs, we knew this was going to be an experience we would never forget. What do you think, Jess? Pretty cool.
It's
Spectacular.
Yeah, that's all I kept thinking. I'm like, this is spectacular. A glacially fed, like waterfall, coniferous trees, and then you can't even see the mountains.
These are all covered up back there. And so the glacially fed water, all this amazing nature out here. Unbelievable.
Questions about any lichens? We love pointing out all the different ones. We all have our favorites. So
Yeah, the lichenologists are pretty creative with some of the names of the lichen as well.
my favorite is the fairy's barf.
Yeah, fairy's barf. Yeah.
We see that one pointed out. That's the actual name. So if you look in a book of lichens, there's fairy's barf,
Devil's matchstick.
old man's beard.
Yep.
So we'll point some of those out as we go along. But
Touching the bear's bread. Said it's super hard. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, it's the kind of mushroom. That's pretty cool. They said bears don't actually eat it though, even though it's called bear's bread.
Here, I'll get one.
All right, there's a little waterfall. We're gonna take pictures here real fast.
Oh, so cute.
Unbelievable. These views are spectacular. Guys enjoying the hike so far?
Just enjoying the sights, enjoying the smells.
And the lady, she was like, "I'm so sorry, it's raining." I was like, "I can barely even tell."
Yeah,
It's like
not
it
bad.
rains.
It's just
Steady, but it's, yeah, I mean,
Keeps you cool.
I'm dressed, I feel great.
Yeah,
No complaints.
these views are worth, even if it was in a downpour, it would be worth coming out here.
The only thing I wish I had was like a baseball hat. Because I
Yeah.
have my hood up, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
know.
like swishy. So, pro tip.
So we just stopped for a break, and they're all up there, and I'm waiting to use the outhouse, which is in the middle of this freaking forest. It was so cool.
So we're stopping here for a quick snack and a bathroom break and stuff. But I wanted to talk about how they
hold
have.
on, let's talk about the most epic outhouse of all time.
Oh yeah, and down there is the outhouse. But I just want to talk about how they give you like all the gear you could possibly need. So if you want to do this, but you don't have like hiking boots, and I mean, I still recommend hiking boots, but these are like waterproof things you put over your boots. They got waterproof pants. They got the poles.
Yeah.
They'll give you gloves and hats if you don't have
Yeah,
them.
they've got
they
rain
give you-
jackets.
Yeah, gloves. And
I gotta say, that's a first. That's a first for me.
That guy.
Please tell me you got that on camera.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's a hoot and a half.
He's from Texas, yeah.
And he's letting everyone
funny.
know. Anyway, so really, I mean, pack what you can, obviously bring stuff, but if you don't have it, they have everything you could
At
possibly
least
need.
this specific excursion, although they said, I think they're the only ones that are
Who can
allowed
use
on
this trail, yeah.
And it's
What was our
Sounds
tour
like
number?
most
2011 or something like that? So yeah, if you're on Norwegian, tour number 2011.
We will get a little bit more elevation gain, and pretty shortly here is when we'll need snowshoes. So we are going to be putting snowshoes on in just a little bit up the trail. Everyone feel comfortable and feel good with that still?
We're getting our snowshoes on now because the next bit of our trek apparently is through the snow, so we're all going to snowshoe. That's pretty cool. Look at this river too, raging. Apparently the glacier is way up there. It's almost like we keep going into like different areas of the mountain, and they all look so different. Like we were just like in the rainforest down there. Now we're like up on top of a mountain.
Look at your wet hair.
I know. Well, I had my hood up, but I couldn't hear very well. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to hear the nature around me.
This is so spectacular.
Yeah, yeah, I hear it. But yeah, this is the most spectacular views I've ever seen. We were in Juneau yesterday and we're like, man, these are really big mountains. And then we're here today and we're like, wow, those are not very big mountains. These are some big mountains. I'd love to see it on a clear day. They gave us these snowshoes, and they're super hard to walk in, and our guides are not wearing them. They're moving way faster than us. I'm like, so what, do we need these? Once we were about halfway up the mountain, we found a flat spot and stopped for a lunch break. We were then supposed to turn around and begin our trek back, but Ben, ever the explorer, persuaded a few of the guides to take a small group of us further up the mountain. So while some of us turned around and headed back after lunch, a few of the more adventurous explorers continued on up the face of the mountain to get a closer look at the awe-inspiring glacier. The terrain became more treacherous, more rugged, and steeper, but the views it afforded were well worth the effort. There was some running water. They had to help us over the running water back there. You can see like they're like, all right, so you step and then one big step across the water. All right, and we're carrying on. I will say though that because we dressed well, I'm not all that cold.
No.
I'm really feeling pretty good.
It looks like we would be. It's not.
Yeah, it looks like, but it's not bad. Knock on wood.
I can't remember what temperature it actually is right.
Yeah, I don't know. We're almost at the top. You can see the glacier up there.
Yeah, we
That's
just like
so cool.
caught sight.
The phrase breathtaking views is far overused by travel writers. Everything from the rolling hills of Ireland to a highway overpass in Toledo seems to offer breathtaking views. However, in this instance, I can assure you, there is no better phrase to encapsulate the views we found on this hike. And did I mention it was a 7-mile hike that took several hours? That means not only was it breathtaking, but it was indeed breathtaking. You did it, girl. Went all the way to the top. There's a small group that decided to go to the very top, like after the, took like a break down there. They're like, well, if you want to keep going.
I almost quit about 10 times.
But
I was
you
like,
did.
yeah, I'm good.
You're all the way to the top. What do you think, Anne?
Madness. You might even say wild.
What do you think, Ben?
Pretty sweet.
Kind of got off the trail there because we had some more time. So they said we're ahead of schedule, so we're coming over here on these rocks. And we are going right over to where the glacier, so the glacier that we were just at is way up there. And this is all the runoff from the glacier. She said you can go feel like the glacial silt. Just like really finely milled sand.
I feel so cool.
Yeah, we're gonna go see. She said it's, you could try some back there, but she said it's even better up here, so we're kind of working our way over here to where the river is. So they were saying it's scattered in a few different places in the national forest here. They've got these little cabins, and you can rent them out for like $35 a night, and then the Forest Service will come out and open them and all that. But it's just bare bones. You know, there's really not much to it. But it's got a little bench and a little fireplace there, and that would be your view. I just think that's so cool. Be out here in the middle of the woods, middle of the forest, have your own little place. The Tongass National Forest is the largest national forest in the country, covering over 17 million acres. Scattered throughout this temperate rainforest, you'll find dozens of cabins just like this one, perfect for campers and backpackers to provide some shelter from the elements. The accommodations vary depending on the cabin, but they all come with a few things in common. Spectacular views, fresh air, and a chance to escape the hustle and bustle of modern life. Even if just for a little while.
Sun's finally out. So we're all done, waiting for the train now to come back and pick us up. We just had a little picnic, kind of. They gave us like some salmon pate.
But they made it.
Yeah, it was really good. Some juice, some other snacks, and yeah.
And we had sandwiches we made on the train, so we had more.
Yeah.
And we're
yeah,
just
they
sitting
definitely
with
fed
this
us
view.
quite a bit. But yeah, the sun's out now, which is nice. It was kind of chilly earlier, but
Yeah.
I gotta get my sunnies out now.
Yeah, it's really nice. We're just waiting on the train.
Well, as the song says, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. The train rounded the corner and we loaded up and headed back to Skagway.
This is cool. We're in the caboose. So cool.
Pretty neat caboose. I think all this was like blocked by clouds.
Yeah, we couldn't hardly see any of this.
Of all the things we did in Alaska on this trip, this was my favorite. Nothing I show you here can begin to compare to being there. Everyone should experience this kind of hike at least once in their life. It was the most expensive excursion we booked, but it was worth every penny.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, it wasn't like a little, like I was worried. Sometimes like cruise excursions are kind of like
Watered down.
cheesy and watered down for sure.
This was a
But we were out there. I mean, it was cool.
That was legit.
It's a pretty legit hike.
All the seasons as well.
yeah, it's kind of summery now.
And I have bruises to prove it.
We all felt like we dressed appropriately. which
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
very
definitely
hard.
the waterproof stuff was good, but then they did also supply that stuff. But yeah, what was the name of the tour company? Packer Expeditions. Really could not recommend them highly enough. They are awesome. Yeah, and they all seemed fun and like energetic and knowledgeable. They all knew like a lot of the plants that we were passing, what's edible, what's not. Like it wasn't just like, here we're going on a hike. Like they seemed to know their stuff. So we're in downtown Skagway now. We're gonna imagine this, check out a couple bars.
We only have like an hour and
Yeah.
no, it's 6:10, guys. So we have like 50 minutes before we should probably start walking back.
Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna do that, and then we're off to the ship for the evening. After our 7-mile mountain trek, we felt we deserved an ice-cold beer, so we stopped at a few breweries as we headed back to our ship. We're trying the Spruce Tip Blonde, which when we were on our trail, they said that they literally the spruces they make into a beer. The Spruce Tip, it's pretty cool. What do we think about the beer?
Interesting. I mean, it's got a distinct flavor for sure.
And it was the pine needles.
Yeah,
So like spruce tip.
Spruce tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our guide was telling us they don't. These spruce tips
Sitka
were definitely
spruce.
from last year because that they brewed this with because they're not ready for this yet. They have
Oh,
to turn
yeah.
gray or something.
No, she said that we were seeing them. They were brown, and she said once they shed that brown, they're like a really bright green.
Yeah.
And that's. But
Gotcha.
she also said that sometimes they'll let the hikers bring in a bag of them. Then they'll get like beer tokens.
But they weren't ready, so we couldn't do it.
No bear tokens.
In its day, Skagway was a scrappy little town. Today, it's an amazingly preserved artifact from North America's biggest and most storied gold rush. While many of the buildings are recreations nowadays, Skagway is still one of the most authentic gold rush towns around. Ooh, is that another place for a beer? Emily's doing see a chug, send a chug, because that's a pretty darn cool background you got going on there.
Emily's
But-
the queen of it.
Oh, we were going to go and do a brothel tour. Apparently, it's a really cool tour they do, and it's only like a 15-minute tour. It's only like $10.
Like at the Red Onion Saloon or something.
Yeah, but it was too late by the time we got there. So we were like, well, we got about 30, 45 minutes before we have to walk back to the ship. So what did we do? We found another brewery. And so we're out here, and this is our view at the brewery.
No complaints.
Yeah, and it's nice. Everybody's outside. It's warm.
It's amazing to see our ship. Because as
Is
somebody,
that one ours right there?
yeah. But here's the thing: we've only ever done. Actually, I'm only assuming that's our ship. That might be the Princess. I don't know. But regardless, to see a cruise ship with giant mountains in the background, we've only ever done
All
like,
around, not even the back, like on the sides,
Yeah.
like everywhere.
We've only ever done like Caribbean cruises before. So seeing a cruise ship docked in a place like this is just mind blowing to us.
Side note, we saw the tour guides at the second brewery, Klondike, that we were at.
And I was,
They were there. It was awesome.
I was super
And
awkward.
one
I
of
was like,
them walked
"Hey,
on
I have this
doggies.
travel channel. If you want to see this tour,
No,
and
you
it go-"
should-
I know, but
You
anyway,
should be proud.
anyway. So I was like, "Here's my business card. Look it up in 6 months when I finally have time to edit these together."
They were so
And they were
cool,
like, "That's
though.
so cool." I'm like, "Okay, bye."
Well, and they're just like, all of them are personable. It has to be like a part of the job. Like, you can't
Oh
do
my
that
god! And they were
job
all
unless you're
so
incredibly
knowledgeable and friendly, and
personable. Yeah.
like, I mean, they knew their. It was awesome. It really was like awesome.
Highly recommend.
Back on the ship, we're having dinner in the Manhattan Room, one of the main dining rooms on board the Norwegian Bliss and a staple on many Norwegian ships. Dinner is a great way to catch up on the events of the day, all while we head to our next port overnight. Oh, and look! There's more alcohol here.
Alright, so we're finally eating in the Manhattan Room, which is the main dining room besides Taste and Savor. We tried to eat here last night and we got here like 5 minutes after they closed.
They were like,
Nope. So it's very fancy. I'm digging it a lot.
everyone's drinking Manhattan, so that makes sense. They're
Oh, that's cute.
But even like the menu has like the Empire State Building
Oh,
on
yeah. I didn't even see that.
it. Very fancy.
and some people are like dressed super fancy, and we just got off the boat.
Yeah, we did.
Hiking boots.
Yeah, we literally walked in the boat, walked up here, and here we are.
Which we got on the boat with 5 minutes to spare. I think that's the closest I've ever cut.
Yeah, I don't like to be that close to the embarkation time. Which also bring a watch and make sure you set the watch to local time because your phone is not reliable in that regard. Always bring a watch on a cruise and set it to local time.
Yeah.
Or the ship's time, I guess I should say. The ship's
Sorry,
time.
I can't focus. I'm really focused on this butter and bread here.
Oh yeah.
After a long day in Skagway, looking at mountains, nothing like a dip in the hot tub, which is where we're headed right now. These hot tub views are insane.
Yeah, this is gonna be some nice tubbing.
Wild.
While there are several hot tubs on deck, we opted for the ones in the far aft of the ship in the Spice H2O area. Spice H2O is an adults-only area on the ship that includes 2 hot tubs, a bar, a lounging area, and a water feature for cooling off on those hot Caribbean days. Obviously, that last part is not a huge selling point for Alaskan cruises, but you know what is? Sitting in a hot tub with views like this.
Emily did it. Good job, Emily.
And sober.
Ben is wearing the infamous hat, and he refused to dance.
It is from the Amazon.